It's the episode of Ironheart that I've been dreading to review the most, episode 5. Why? Because the darn thing just wouldn't end. It went on and on and on. It was nearly an hour of not a lot. You can jump from 4 to 6. You wouldn't have missed a beat hardly. But I'm in it to win it. So here we go. Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Where did we end with our intrepid criminal at the end of the last episode? Well, Parker, aka the Hood, had sent the 41%ers to go and take out Riri Williams. I mean, how hard's it going to be? She's about 4'10", and this is a group of people who we've already seen infiltrate multi-billion-dollar corporations, take out security guards and train fighters if they were absolutely no one. And with, of course, Riri Williams having no established fighting skills whatsoever, and without the aid of her suit, I'm sure this is going to be a really easy job indeed. So it starts off easily enough because the AI-suited Natalie had stolen the armor at the end of episode 4 because Riri was contemplating wiping her because, oh my goodness me, Natalie's brother was horrified that Riri had created Natalie as an AI construct. Creme Brulee, Shea Coulee, whatever the freaking called, the drag queen, fires what appears to be a high-powered magnet. And it attaches onto the suit, and they pull it into the back of a van. How did they know where they were? Maybe they read the script. I don't know. More importantly, I certainly do not care. So just bear that in mind, everybody. The suit, Riri's 4-year suit at MIT on the Stark grant, could be easily incapacitated by a magnet. I'm sure they'll do that trick later on. No, they'll never use another magnet again. So Riri herself has ended up at a fast food restaurant called White Castle. I'm sure the irony of that's lost on the showrunners. Anywho, she's speaking to the lass who's into magic, who would most likely make a much better Riri Williams than... Anyway, again, never mind. And they're discussing how they believe the Hood's powers come from for the cape. And they come to the conclusion that it's probably Dormammu from Doctor Strange. The chances of it, 50-50. So it might be, it might not be. Now, Harriet Pothead here says that the only thing that they should really do is kill Parker. I mean, I love the way that they immediately go to the extremes, but, you know, this is Ironheart, and the first thing she did after getting kicked out of MIT was fall into a life of crime. So this is probably a logical progression path in terms of where she wants to go as a character. So Tweedledum and Tweedledumbass come into the White Castle, the blood siblings. No. And they want to start a fight with Riri. But of course, Riri's talking to this magic user. So now this magic user is also on their radar. Oh, no, they just tell her to go. I mean, you think that Riri killed John, which she did. So whoever she's consorting with, maybe there's something else going on. Didn't your little brains think about that? No, just you get out of here. We got to have our very bad fighting set piece come up now where, oh, geez, I've just realized a black woman's going to start a fight in a fast food restaurant. Well, it's White Castle. Thankfully, not a Waffle House. So somehow this show manages to transition, which is pretty apt for these two things here, into The Naked Gun or some Abraham Zucker production. because Riri decides to incapacitate one of them by shoving a half-eaten burger into their mouth. Just when you think the show couldn't get any more retarded, here we are. Riri is literally throwing empty condiment bottles at them, and they're acting as if they're being hit by 10-ton lead bricks. But then Riri appears to throw a hot fryer of fries, try saying that 3 times when you're drunk, at one of the siblings, and they just brush it off, even though they would be covered in burning hot oil. Look, why am I meant to try and make any sense of this when the show itself made no effort to themselves? So after all of this, the rules of the fight just suddenly change as Riri punches one of them in the face as hard as she can, and they just brush it off as if nothing's happened. Oh, okay, that's a thing now. And they kick Riri, and she goes flying back, and Riri pretends to beg for her life and all this kind of shit. But really, she's baiting them in to go to the force field watch, and she's going to trap them in the force field. But oh my god, Clown Show is also here, and they are going to attempt to blow Riri up with their checks notes, complete and utterly ineffectual bombs. And yes, the Ironheart suit is still stuck on the magnet that Creme Brulee put them on. I know we have to suspend our disbelief that Riri is actually a genius, because no. But we also now have to suspend our disbelief that the Clown Show can't find Riri in this tiny little burger kitchen. All she has to do is throw a bomb down each aisle and Riri's dust. But this scene is simply here to serve the purpose that Riri implants the seed of doubt into the Clown Show's tiny little brain, that once you've served your purpose within the group, like Eric Andre's character Rampage, then you will just be killed off anyway. Thankfully, because everyone of Parker's group is a bunch of incompetent weirdos, Riri manages to escape the fight. However, Creme Brulee turns up in the wagon and starts to run Riri down on the street. Riri, the alleged genius, who's running in a straight line down the road when she can simply just cut in between one of the cars and get on the sidewalk. And what's that truck meant to do then? It can't... Oh my god. Please, fucking dumb fucks. Dumb fuck writers for Marvel. Can you just put your pens down? Put your pens down and report to the nearest fucking window to start licking it at your leisure. Oh my god. I don't think that you could open up a pill bottle without supervision. Oh, and by the way, Riri's first reaction when she left was to try and steal a car. You can't make any of this up. You can't make any of this up. Her first instinct, let's steal something. Ladies and gentlemen, your stunning and brave, diverse writers of fuck. And then the suit breaks out of the back. It managed to turn the magnet off or some shit. And it punches the wagon, and Creme Brulee is on suicide watch as they may break a nail or something. But nice reaction. Yes, this is an actual shot from the TV show. I can only imagine that the suit was doing it to the writers, the showrunner, the director. Fuck it out. Maybe they were even doing it to Riri herself. And even though Creme Brulee runs away scared, This is no more than a few feet outside of the place that she's just had the fight with the clown show and the 41% twins. However, she thinks, our Marvel genius, that now is the perfect time to have an argument with her AI construct in the middle of the street by getting out of the armor and making herself vulnerable when we know that the others have guns. Oh. So that argument results in Natalie having a strop and shutting herself down for the night. So Riri gets into the suit and just flies off, because I guess it's on manual control now. I thought the whole point of making the suit work was to have an AI that was fun. Oh, I don't know what the hell's going on anymore. And just as she starts to reach some heights, she gets shot down by a blast of lightning. I wonder who this could be. Yeah, it's Zeke. But she lands on a sign and it rearranges the letters to create the word ouch. So it's funny. Laugh. They did a funny laugh. So Riri says, what are you doing here? Remember last week how Riri said that she was going to do everything in her power to get Zeke out of prison? And then she did absolutely nothing when she left the prison. Didn't mention him again. Didn't attempt to do anything to show that she's trying to get him out or help him. Anyway, he says, Parker got me out and it's time to fuck you up, which he does. So Riri starts begging for her life. Again, it's the type of thing that a villain would do when they've been complete and utterly outmatched and outplayed by the hero. They start begging for their life so that they can continue to live on. But this is Riri, and so it is, again, par for the course that they would plead and beg once they lose, in their eyes, the perceived advantage. So Zeke throws Ironheart down on the ground, and instead of doing the killing blow, says to her, you better leave Chicago now, because if Parker finds out that you're still alive, then it's curtains for both of us. And he walks away and spares her life, showing that Ezekiel Stain is a much better human being than Riri Williams will ever be. He has now put his own life at risk by sparing hers, whereas Riri was quite happy to let John die in the greenhouses in an effort to save her own skin instead of saving him, realizing her time with the gang was now done and preparing, no doubt, for their efforts to try and take her out, which they're already doing right now. Out of these two people, Ezekiel Stain is the better hero than Riri fucking Williams. Unbelievable. The clown show has just witnessed everything that's gone on, but of course, the seeds have been planted in her mind about Eric Andre's character Rampage being killed, so she's now going to support Ezekiel and play along with what's happened. Why? Was that all it took? Just a little nudge from somebody who we know had killed John? Well, apparently so. Very fickle, these guys. Riri gets home and decides to come clean to her mum about everything that's gone on. But by that, we don't know exactly what was said because it fades. So how Riri explained the situation is, well, unknown. Do you think she told her mum that she killed a guy called John? Doubt it. Do you think she told her mum that she was privy to multiple murders which happened because of the group that she was in? Nah, I doubt that as well. And her mum doesn't even go, we need to involve the police, we need to get this. No. Her mum's just like, well, you're all right, you're alive, so I guess everything's okay. Because, of course, everybody's got to validate Riri Williams' absolutely disgusting, deplorable behavior, including her mum. So her mum's genius idea to resolve the issue is to just fight them. Let's fight. She has no clue what she's up against whatsoever. So I can only, again, assume that Riri hasn't in any way, shape, or form truly explained the situation here. But Mum's just like, yeah, I think the best way out of this is probably to commit more crime. Her mum then takes her to her stepdad's garage. Riri's not too happy because she has bad memories there. You know, the drive-by and all of that. And then the Natalie AI shows Ironheart some of her memories from when she was a kid working with her stepdad in the garage. And I could only assume that she was trying to find a time, you know, when she's like 8-year-olds or something, when Riri wasn't a fucking criminal. So Riri says, oh, I don't even have a suit anymore. What on earth am I going to do to fight back? And her mum says, well, let's open this up. Da-da. And outside of the garage that they just walked into is the car that her dad was working on for years that Ironheart immediately sold so that she could buy parts for her own suit because she didn't care. Anyway, her mum said, when I heard that you were coming back home, you mean when you found out that she got expelled from MIT, you bought it back? As a what? A fucking present? Congratulations on getting kicked out of university on that Stark scholarship free ride. Here, have a fucking car. I'm beginning to understand why Riri Williams has grown up to be such a fucking prick. So I'm not going to waste any more time on this scene than is necessary because it just went on for fucking ever. But in essence, Ezekiel puts down the helmet of Ironheart and says, I killed her. Parker doesn't believe him because his explanation wasn't showy enough. So he asks the clown show if that's true. And the clown show says, yes, Ezekiel did it. Parker, however, did decide to tell the truth for a change and told everyone that they look like shit. Because they do. Riri is trying to build her new suit and she comes up with a little bit of a quandary. You see, she's thought of everything that she can do to tackle, quote, a guy that's got a freaking demonic god in their corner. I don't know about you good people out there, but I'm going to press X to fucking doubt on that one. You've literally just cut up a bloody car and sellotaped it together. But I can't find a powerful enough power source to deal with all of this stuff. What? You mean like an arc reactor? You mean like an arc reactor? Okay. So your solar and wind power that can do the suit isn't now capable. Okay. Yeah, it kind of feels like we've taken some steps back on what you thought the suit was instead of going forward. But this is just, of course, a complete MacGuffin in an effort to bring magic into the equation. And yes, Riri is now going to power her suit by magic. What magic? Don't know. How does it work? Don't know. As long as somebody's doing wibbly wobbly hands in a montage and weird shit appears to be happening, apparently that's enough to let us know that magic is doing its thing now. The 41%ers confront Parker about killing Eric Andre, aka Rampage, and they have a big squabble like a bunch of schoolgirls. And he fires them. You're all fired. And so they leave. And from what I can remember, we never see them again, which is nice. And they all leave on the elevator that was booby-trapped, as we saw from Riri's job interview, so to speak. And I was really, really hoping that it was just going to fill up with gas and they all died. But alas, alack, Shakespeare hath forsaken us in this instance. And I can only imagine that they went on to become politicians. Xavier's going to have a right shock one day when he does this and he walks in and somebody like me stood there, isn't he? Oof. His whole worldview completely destroyed in one foul swoop. Hey, are you all ready to tear my stepdad's car to pieces so I can make another shitty suit? Riri Williams or something. We get a useless scene with Ezekiel and Heather where it looks like Heather's actually sort of like prodding Ezekiel to the point where he's just going to zap her and explode her everywhere. But no, because Zeke's not like that. He's not like Riri Williams. So he just does what he does normally, threaten her flowers. And then Parker comes along and Parker's like, hey, look, I hacked you because I changed the admin from you to me, because apparently that's how hacking works. And I can make you do anything that I want you to do. Mwah! Oh my God. This episode just won't fucking end. So speaking of things that just won't end, it's the next scene that goes on and on and on. Anyway, Parker takes Ezekiel to the manor house that we'd seen in the flashback that he and John had been previously trying to rob. It's even got the same security guard there, and yes, he gets shot again. Anyway, it turns out that this is his dad. It's his dad's house, his father's house, and his father has control over all the other companies as well. So he gets his dad, after some threats, to sign over everything to him, including the house, and to get the fuck out and all that kind of business, because this is everything that Parker deserved. Now, I'm just going to say this as straight as I possibly can. I don't give a flying fuck. None of it was interesting, none of it was compelling, and none of it was fucking believable. And it's just come out of fucking left field in episode 5, towards the end of it, of the show. And I have to say to myself, there's a high chance that in the 2.5+ years that this has been rotting on the shelves at Disney, and the amount of times this has gone through edits and re-edits and all of this kind of stuff, that maybe quite a bit of this has just been lost in the sauce. And the good thing is, even if it hadn't, I still wouldn't give a flying fuck. So then it cuts to the completed brand new Ironheart suit that's been made out of a bloody car. How this is going to stop a bullet, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be able to stop much of a strong gust of wind. However, it's now powered by magic. Again, whatever that means. But magic comes at a cost. And so as the magic is infused into the suit to give it a unlimited power supply, so we've been told, it erases the AI of Natalie. And the episode ends with them going, oh my God, where's Natalie? Oh, again, I don't care. I don't care. This show just wouldn't fucking end this week. It really bloody wouldn't. And so, brave adventurers, we head forth into the final episode of Ironheart. And I'll drop within the next couple of days. So until then, you take care. Goodbye, Baloo Boo.